that you tuned in today. Today's Community Connection show is brought to you by the Saginaw branch of the NAACP and its Youth Council. We urge you to get connected, be informed, and stay involved. And I can't say enough about our youth who are involved with the NAACP by way of the Saginaw AXO. The participants have completed their participation in the AXO program, and they will have a ceremony this afternoon at 6 o'clock. Now, you may or may not be a member of the NAACP, but you can go to the NAACP's website and watch the award ceremony. It will be today at 6 o'clock. So as soon as you finish listening to me, please get on your computer or on your phone and tune in to the AXO Awards. It's a really nice award ceremony, and I hope that Saginaw will do well. We had, I think, 5 or 6 students from the Saginaw area who participated. So I wish them well, and I hope everything goes well. I hope that we get all gold medals. We usually do very well in the AXO competitions and in a lot of different categories. Okay. A great job that Mr. Pugh and Kanika Owens Robinson have done with working with the kids. So they're representing Saginaw well. It is the convention for the NAACP that's taking place. There is an opportunity for you to go online and look at some of the speakers during some of the main sessions, and you can do that. You can learn a great deal about the NAACP. They've had some very good speakers so far. That is what President Terry Pruitt has said to me. I have not been on to watch. Not really feeling really good today or this weekend, although I've been out and about, but I'm going to make it through this, and I'm going to head home so I can watch AXO Awards. Remember that I told you last week that I was going to go home and watch the Harlem Cultural Festival and the one and only Dick Gregory. I have not had a chance to do that, but I have received a lot of telephone calls about that. I was preparing for this week's program. The second Sundays are always for this year, I will be talking about civic engagement. And so I was preparing for this, and then we had this great announcement from the city of Saginaw saying they finally acknowledged that this money was coming down, $52 million that is coming into the city of Saginaw. They already have half of it that has been pulled down into their coffers. Rob, do you have that $52 million PSA anywhere around? No.
I'll look for it in the meantime.
Okay, great. And so talk about civic engagement. That's what we're going to be talking about today. My plan was to talk about you knowing your voting rights, even though they're trying to change them here in Michigan and across the country. I want to talk about this, but what is more important is that Saginaw is receiving $52 million in federal dollars stimulus funds that could transform the city. That is what the headline said in a report by Justin Ingo. He acknowledges a deadline that approaches Saginaw leaders. And so they're ramping up community outreach efforts that could shape how the city spends $52 million in federal stimulus money. And they say it could be transformative. So I hope that each and every one of you will, set your date to go down to city council, listen to what they're saying, call each and every one of the elected officials that are there, and also the city manager, and see what they have planned. Now, I'm sure that they have been sitting on that, not sitting on the money, but they know what they really want to do, and they are going to have a strategic plan and invite the community in to be a part or give some input, not saying that they're going to, follow what you want to do. They feel that they know what's best for the city. But it's always good for our citizens and our voters who live in the city of Saginaw to become engaged. Practice some civic engagement with your elected leaders. Tim Morales is not elected by the voters, individual voters. He's elected by, not elected, hired by the city council members, but those city council members that are there are elected by you. They're all at large. They're not in one district, or they don't represent a district. They represent everyone in the city of Saginaw. Rob, you have that 52 million. Please play that.
Stand by.
Thank you. Hey, Saginaw, what would you do if you had $52 million to improve Saginaw?
Rent would be paid. Rent would be paid, at least for a month, for everybody. Rent would be out of the way. I would help out with health bills, and I would invest in our schools and the proper technology for students to actually learn in this environment.
For my part, I think Saginaw should pour as much money into affordable housing as it can to help people recover from this horrible pandemic.
And with that $54 million that the city of Saginaw just received, I feel like I could use that funding to start after-school programs for the children and the youth of our city who don't have anything to do during a pandemic, also after school. I also feel like with that $54 million, we could start an initiative to actually beautify our city street by street and actually employ maybe homeless people who regularly wouldn't have a job.
Personally, I would like to see improvement in our schools, especially our city schools. I feel like we leave these kids behind, so I'd like to see a better plan for that.
I think the money the city got should be implemented in improving the east side of Saginaw. Parks, schools. You guys need to put it into the east side.
A lot of the residential areas, away from downtown, are kind of run down and don't get the financial attention that they deserve and need.
Think it over. Think it through. Think Saginaw. What would you do if you had $52 million to improve your community? Really, that is the question. What will you do, and what kind of input will you give for the city to utilize those dollars to revitalize and help the city of Saginaw? There is so much. Each of the suggestions and ideas that you heard on that public service announcement are valid. We need to spend money everywhere. Quality of life for our residents of the city of Saginaw, quality of life and education for our students who are in the Saginaw Public School District, infrastructure. I'm sick of going over potholes and that have been there for years. And, the city does a pretty good job. Beth London is the engineer. She does a pretty good job in answering the questions about how they resurface the street, but it takes them so doggone long to get things done. And, what she told me was that, these things are planned in advance. This is before the money come in. Well, now that we have all this money, let's ramp it up. I hope that they will hire some more people, get some more trucks and equipment. I don't know how all that works into the final Treasury rule as to how that money can be spent. But those are all good ideas. Load the streets up with people who need jobs and who can do the job. Those that can just stand out there and hold that sign, pay them a good wage, put some money in their pockets, give them a skill that they can transfer to other jobs and make our city beautiful. Okay. I have a friend who has a big, his his frame of his truck is broken because of going over a pothole that was during the rains. Okay. And so he rolled over that, didn't see it. It was kind of standing up. Now the frame is broke on his car. I told the good brother, you need to go and file a complaint. And I guess they're going to do something about it. But my goodness, we have so much. Our parks, every one of our parks need to be looked at. We could have the walkway unearthed over at Morley Park, make that a dynamic park for having our Saginaw African Cultural Festival, which is coming up next month, I believe on the 14th. We're going to have one day. There's so much there that can be done. I am on the Morley committee, and we went out there, went to the park. We tried to get money from the Dow Foundation about unearthing a walkway, and that's there. It just needs to, it just needs some tender loving care. We couldn't get any money to do that. Maybe we can get some now. And also, the county is now, the county has been getting funds from city residents to take care of parks, but not many of the parks over in the neighborhood on the east side of town are being handled very well. They're not doing any work over there. They're not making it look park friendly. Okay. And I wish they would do that. But now that we have $26 million just sitting there, that's one of the things that should be at the top of the list to do for the residents of the city of Saginaw. That park is a jewel in the community. It needs to remain there. It should remain under the city coffers, but I understand that the Saginaw County Parks and Recreation Department, they want to take it over, but they haven't done anything. So anyway, listen, one of the things I'm going to go back to talking about this 52 million that that could transform our city.
It would be nice if the city or the local news kept an update to everybody. I don't know what any M5 and local news stations are doing here, but when money like that comes to the city that is in need of upkeep and change and progress and whatnot, I'm not sure why. Now, maybe I don't watch much of the local news. I don't get the chance to watch it. But if the local news and local papers are not covering this, then they should, because they should constantly keep us informed. Because only time I heard about $52 million was either on when you said it, and when Kareem shows mentioned it.
Yes.
And what's woman's name? Rose.
Carly Rose.
She talked about it and gave a great deal about it, because I already knew some things about the ARP program nationally.
Right.
But I didn't know Saginaw itself had gotten $52 million, and plus the counties around it. So what is happening with that money? I mean, Joyce, if I gave you $50 to go pay for a bill, then I'm going to expect to hear from you at least within shortly. Yes, Rob, I paid for my electric bill. Thank you for the money. Yes. I heard from you. That means you used the money. But if I never hear from you, you either took the money and ran.
I do not know why they are so slow. I do not understand why the media, the paper media, the print media, other broadcast media, why they don't stay on top of this.
Especially on Facebook,
Yes. Talk about this. I mean, it should be number one. Other cities, other media, especially minority media, Black media, they're talking about it in other cities. But we have a closed mouth here. And that 52 million could do a lot in the city of Saginaw.
Not to put anything on the Honorable Brenda Moore, but I told Brenda Moore to come here on your show and tell us what's going on, because I trust her and I believe what she's doing, and this is a good chance right now. Now, no offense to you, Mayor Moore, but you are our mayor, you are our representative. Instead of Joyce doing it, or no one else doing it, or things being quiet around here, please come tell us what's going on. Keep us informed. Now, maybe she's in the process of working that, and because of certain political or mechanics or whatnot, she can't do that. But I'm hoping very soon,
right?
Because right now all I'm hearing is $52 million, $28 million has been put into her pocket. Now I'm saying to myself, now what?
Well, she called me. She called me several weeks ago. And well, I called her and asked her for an update. And she said as soon as they get additional information, which they talked about in today's paper at the Saginaw News, and please get your Saginaw News, go and read it for yourself and formulate your questions that you want for the city council and Tim Morales about this money. Okay, but she said that she would come back on the show and talk about this money, how they're going to do it, the strategic plan, what could be done. And she would bring Tim Morales with me. Now I'm waiting for her to call me. Now that they've busted it out in the Saginaw News, I'm waiting for her to call me and say, hey, Joyce, we're ready to sit down and talk with you. Not after the strategic plan, but as you formulate how you're going to do it and announce it here on Community Connections. Okay. Because our listeners are waiting. I get calls all the time. I got one this morning from one of my neighbors. What about that money? When are you going to talk about that money? I said, I'm going to talk about it now. There's an article in the paper. We're going to talk about that. I will not forget. People are asking. And you know what's really interesting? Where I live, which is close to downtown, I've been seeing these big vans, white vans coming through the city, just going slow, looking at every corner. They're looking. I can see the driver, can't see how many people are in there, but they're going up and down the streets on the east side.
Probably taking a survey.
Yeah, survey, just what it's looking like, you know. Now, that happened to me when I first moved back home, which was in 2004. I was over by Perkins and 13, 14, something back in that area. And there was a trolley, like a Saginaw trolley. And they were going down the street, pointing out, talking, writing, you know. I said, what is this? You know, and I tried to follow up on that. I called the trolley service and said, who were those people over in the neighborhood? You know, they said, oh, they were just some visitors, some guests. They did acknowledge them. Same thing is going on now. I don't know who it was that was in those, but there were several of those buses. But anyway. Listen, I have.
Before you know, winter will be here, so I guess we might as well.
Yeah, listen, they better do something before winter now. Something. Put up a banner. Put up some tags. Something saying that, hey, we got 52 million here. Yeah. Anyway, listen, we're going to go back and talk about that. I'm also going to talk about knowing your rights, even though they're trying to change everything. But I do have Mr. Al Lindsay on the phone, and I wanted to talk with Al today because he sent me some information. He is the number one on the Radio Airplay Experts R&B and Soul chart. Wanted to say congratulations to him. Al, are you there?
Yes, I am, Joyce.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. I hear you're shaking things up, huh?
Trying to shake things up. I want to wake the people up, Al.
Good trouble.
Yeah, good trouble. That's right. Doing good trouble here. Al, your song, Claim It, is that just a single or is it on one of your CDs?
It's a single.
It's a single.
It's my newest release.
Your newest release.
Mm-hmm.
Al, what pumped you up when you heard about this going to number one? I think it was on number 3 the last time that you were here in the station.
Right.
Did you do, have you been doing promotional tours? What caused the bump up? Well,
things still a little quiet, with the live entertainment thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a buzz around the song. It's very, very hot, very popular. And as a matter of fact, it's now on vinyl. It's being distributed out of the UK.
Uh-huh.
So that within itself, it's kind of remarkable. Someone else investing their money, into your work.
Right.
And so
you said it's on vinyl. It's being pressed.
Yes, it's pressed on vinyl. There are none. It's in the UK right now, and it can be ordered from England. But for right now, that's where the distribution deal was worked out. And So, I'm really, really, really happy about that.
Al, tell me about this song, Claim It. Tell me about the song. Did you write it or did someone write it for you?
No, I'm really the architect of the song. And what happens, I wrote most of it, but that's collaboration with a very, very strong vocalist out of the Detroit area. Her name is Laura Rain. And Laura's Italian descent, but she loves soul and she sings soul. Unlike, oh my God, she's awesome. And I met her through social media, through a international radio program that comes on Saturdays and Sundays out of Montreal. And I heard some of her work. I connected with her. And, she's only about an hour's drive from here, 90 minutes at the most. And that's how it is. I wrote the bulk of it, and she added a response to it from a female perspective. And that's how it all came together. And then, my producer, who is James Owens Jr.
Oh, okay.
And his father, James Owens Sr.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they, produced this for me. And but it's under my label, Pulsating Music.
Pulsating Music.
Yes.
Now, Al, tell us again how long you have been in the music business and about your start.
Oh my goodness, Joyce! I've been in the business for over 25 years, and so it's been up and down, up and down, up and down, close. And then not so close, but thank God, I have a foundation, and that's medicine, that, and it, always having that to rely on, I could deal with the ups and downs, and it wouldn't have a, significant impact on me or my musical career. And as the spook who sat by the door, I'm not calling myself a spook, but in a sense. My persistence and keep knocking on that door. Mm-hmm. Music happens to be my passion. And this happens to be a tune that is actually broke for me. So you never know. It's like the archer who pulls back on the bow.
Yeah.
He releases the bow. He doesn't know where it's going to land, but he's hoping that, he's going to hit his mark. And that's what's happened with the song.
Very good. Rob, do we have the song?
I don't think so.
Oh, we were looking.
Claim It, right?
Claim It, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's there in the system.
They can purchase it online and listen to it online, correct?
Oh, yes. Through all the major outlets, music outlets. Now, basically everyone's doing downloading now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it is. I mean, it's, iTunes, Amazon, Deezer, TikTok, it's on YouTube. All of the outlets, and it's just not something tangible that you could put in your hand in the States, but in the UK it is, and people are buying the vinyl, which which is coming back. It's making its way back to the States slowly. Yeah, because the CDs, pretty much they're trying to end that.
Wow.
And Yeah, and that's where this downloading bit has, emerged on the music scene. And the financial reimbursement is nowhere near as what one would get through, having, CDs. And that's the downside of it. I mean, you got to sell loads and loads and loads of music.
Yeah.
Lots of to be downloaded, to get something, profitable from, for your work.
Okay. Al, I think that Rob has found your music, your song. It's called Claim It. Bye.
We're going to take a break and come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will you hold on for a few minutes, Al? We're going to come back. We have to take a break, and then we'll come back, and we'll have your music all up, and we'll talk to you on the other side.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. You are listening to Community Connections, community talk for community people, where we have $52 million. I'll be right back.
There's no higher height. Set my mind
No limit to the sky. When you talk to me.
You're listening to Community Connections with Joyce Harvin on KISS 107.1.
Bayshire Beauty Academy would like to reward local students that receive all A's and B's on their report card. Bring your child to the Bay City, Carroll, or Saginaw locations and present their report card with A's and B's. You can get a fun treat now through July 16th. Bayshire Beauty Academy will provide a $1 haircut for kids redeemable at the Bay City, Saginaw, or Carroll location with an appointment, or a $5 15-minute massage for kids with appointment only for the Bay City location. Parents must be present. Bayshire Beauty Academy, supporting local students.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Okay. Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hey, it's Olivia. Now listen close for my secret to glowing summer skin. A 2-step regimen from Olay. First, I use Olay Regenerist Cream Cleanser. It exfoliates and removes any dirt, oil, and impurities to reveal fresh skin that's ready for moisturizer. Then I apply Olay Retinol 24 Night Moisturizer in the purple jar. It contains dermatologist-recommended ingredients such as retinoids and peptides and gives me smoother, brighter skin. Both are available at retailers nationwide and Olay.com. Right now, get $2 off the cleanser and $10 off when you buy 2 moisturizers.
Wendy's only makes one kind of breakfast, your new favorite one. How do we do it? With fresh cracked eggs, oven-baked bacon, and flaky croissants. You know, the things your old breakfast wasn't doing. So toss that old news and its soggy eggs somewhere useful. And get to Wendy's, where the sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, bacon, egg, and Swiss croissant, and honey butter chicken biscuit are just 2 for $4. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $4.
Limited time only. Single item at regular price. Price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's.
And now back to Community Connections on KISS 107.1.
Fragrance of a candle, sweetest of wine. It's so sensual, a feeling so divine.
You are back with Community Connections, community talk for community people, and you are listening to Al Lindsay, Saginaw's own Al Lindsay. He is not only a local recording artist, he is internationally known, and he has hit the radio airplay experts R&B and soul chart #1 with this very song by Al Lindsay. He wrote it himself. It's titled Claim It. And this was released on July the 5th. We say congratulations to you, Al. What are you going to do with all that money when you get it?
Reinvest it and get ready for the next project.
And speaking of the next project, what are you working on now?
I've got a lot of stuff ready to go right now, as a matter of fact. And I'm kind of torn. Do I want to do a disc with multiple tunes? I want to go with a single. I'm still torn, and and right now I've really been into. I like to do original stuff, but I've been listening to Ollie Woodson, really tough here, And Ollie passed away about 4 or 5 years ago. He was a former lead singer, for the Temps, and I've been really into his thing. And actually, that is something that I'm going to step out and I won't do something. And I'm telling you, you're going to love it. That is really like at the top of the list. It's like I kind of put everything else on hold because I heard this particular tune. And, Ollie, once he left the Temptations, he went solo. And, of course, his music, people did not hear some of his best work was not with the Temptations. And he is from Detroit, and Ollie died of cancer. Mm-hmm. But boy, was he ever one of the greatest lead singers. I would rate him right up there, with Dennis and Everton with David Ruffin. And, I've met both of those guys, and they influenced me. And Ali is right there in that same vein. And I'm just, trying to keep good soul music alive. And this song is number one also on the Urban Influencer chart, which is national.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also number 15 on Starfleet, which is a crossover chart. So as you can see, and I'm, listed as independent, and, independence really is the way to go these days.
Yeah.
We're no longer so dependent on record companies. The competition is fierce, it's stiff, and there's a lot of people out there. So if you can really, really break through, and then the artist, of course, has more ownership and more direction over where his music goes, and that's the beauty of it. But you got to be able to sustain yourself. And I really appreciate you for allowing me to speak today. And you gave me a forum a couple of weeks ago with LaBelle Jackson.
Yes, yeah.
So
I enjoyed that. I had a lot of good comments from my listeners.
You are a beautiful person, both inside and out, Joyce, and you are a staunch, supporter of your community. And I tell you, your name is not praised enough in the community, but I fully applaud your efforts and what you're doing.
Thank you, Al. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're making good trouble, that.
Good trouble. Exactly. Well, let me tell you, I was looking through some of the many thousands of pictures that I've taken in the community. And you remember when this station was doing What Women Want, and you were performing out there? I have those pictures.
Yeah.
I plan to show them in the community at the Black Arts Festival, at the Saginaw African Cultural Festival.
Wow. I got a call about performing. I don't know if it's locked in or yet. We were negotiating on that, but I'm hoping that I might be able to perform there.
That would be great. That would be great.
Yeah.
That would.
But hey, I would love to see those pictures, man.
Yes. I should send you some of those. Those are from a long time ago, but I have all of them. I hope to be flashing them on the screen out at the festival this year.
Well, who was what was the name that was coordinate those, putting those? Who was your director at that particular time?
For the Saginaw African Cultural Festival now.
No, not for the Saginaw African Culture, but I'm speaking of because the event you're speaking of was over on State Street, right?
Yes.
Horizons,
that's correct.
Yes.
Well, I think
that was your PR lady. I don't remember her name.
I don't recall, but I do know it came out of the sales department. That was a fabulous event.
Yes, it was.
It was really good. I have a lot of good pictures from that. People winning prizes and those sitting out in the audience enjoying you. It's really good. I will send them to you, but look for them, on the 14th of August, out in the park for everyone to see.
Yeah, you've always been a big supporter of my career ever since you've known of me and my locating here to Saginaw. And once again, I applaud your efforts in the community. I really do. And that's I'm not going to say a local production because, James Jr. now lives in Atlanta, but he is a Saginaw.
Yes, he is. And, well, Al, how did you get to work with them, or how did you get them to work with you?
We've been speaking back and forth, and James says, Al, come on, man, you come on over. And it was just a matter of doing it because, I released about 3 albums before that and spacing them like every 2 or 3 years. And then James was doing some sessions with my former producer. And it's just one of those things, I guess maybe some would call it divine intervention or ordering the steps, because I just basically followed those steps, and that's how it all came together. And what they've done for my career is just unbelievable. And I can't think of enough, Chosen Sons, that's Saginaw. That's Saginaw.
Yeah, well, kudos to them and the work that they are doing with you. And to you, congratulations.
Yes,
But
well,
this is what I say, Al. I appreciate your kudos for me about what I do, but I believe that just as you hear in other cities, when you have a local artist from your area, they support them. If the music is good, and we should too. So I can support you because I like your music. I like the way that you are handling your career. You are a professional. You're a medical doctor, physician's assistant. You work hard, and your music is good. All of your projects have been good. And so I believe in supporting those who are from the area. Okay. And you have to start somewhere.
Well, I set high standards, and I raised the bar for myself, and I don't want the next project. It's got to be better than the one before. Now that puts a tremendous amount of pressure, on the artist. But we shouldn't settle for less. And this is an art to me. I approach it as an art.
Mm-hmm.
And as an art, it's about the expression of your life experiences, things that are going on in your community, interpersonal relationships, in and out of love, la-di-da, la-di-da. We all know the story's over.
Yes.
But we've got to keep telling the story and do it in a decent way.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm trying to do, and to pass on the torch.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of the music we hear nowadays, you can't tell what they're saying.
No, you can't. And then some of it you don't want to.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Now, when could I reasonably expect a vinyl record to come out? I still have a record player.
I'll tell you
I
what.
do.
Okay, I'm credit about that on my show when I said break out your record player and tape recorders.
Yes,
I still have mine, but and vinyl's coming back in a little bit.
Yes. They just had a big
is.
vinyl convention or something.
But I wouldn't buy vinyl
Recently.
today because I'm too hooked up into digital now. Sorry
Yeah,
about that,
but-
Al.
Man,
but
you know what,
I
vinyls-
your stuff.
You
You take
know,
your
man, you
CDs.
cannot beat the sound of that vinyl.
That's right.
That's true.
That's
That's
exactly
true.
what I was going to
That's
say.
true.
You can't
That's
beat
true.
the sound of vinyl.
So
So,
to answer Joyce's question, Al, when's your
Well, I'll tell
vinyl
you
coming
what.
out?
The vinyl's already out.
Oh, cool.
but we
it's
can't
just
get it
me-
here.
Right. I can get that information on how to get it.
Yes,
But you
do
can
that.
get it online. You can get the information online. Gosh, I wish I had it right in front of me, and I don't. And here I have a distribution deal. I feel that means I'm not prepared, Joyce. Sorry.
Well, hey.
But it is on vinyl. You just go
Everyone.
online, plug in my name, pull up that song on
Yes.
vinyl, and you can use it's there.
Well, I'm going to 2 record stores that I know. There's one in Frankenmuth, and there's one over in Court Street. They sell vinyl. They can order it for me and see how long it takes.
See, there you go. But for you, because of the support you've given me, I'm getting some that's going to be sent to me, and I will just make sure you're not going to have to pay for one. I'm going to make sure you get one. And
Well,
you,
I would just love to see it. I'm going to hang it on my wall after I play it.
Hey, all right.
Al, thank you so much for being my
thank
special
you.
guest today. Again, congratulations on making #1 on the Radio Airplay Experts R&B Soul chart. And this came out on July the 5th. Congratulations and enjoy.
Well, thank you. Well, it was released a little bit before that.
Oh, okay.
It made its rounds in England and has filtered to the States now.
Okay.
But all right. Hey, I appreciate you. I really do. And Godfather as well. Rob, keep jamming, bro.
Thank you, Al. You take
Well,
care.
he was cutting up when I first got here.
I did the Ohio Player Special
Oh.
Edition today.
I think Rob loves the Ohio players.
I thought it was Earth, Wind, Fire. Wait a minute now.
Well, Earth, Wind, Fire is my band, but Earth, Wind, Fire, War, then Ohio Players and Temptations, and I can go on and on.
Yeah,
but in that
yeah.
order, Earth, Wind, Fire rules.
Very good. Very good. Again, thank you, Al.
All right.
Have a great
Be blessed.
evening.
You do the same.
Okay, if you just tuned in, if you got just a little bit of that, I was talking to Al Lindsay, and he has a #1 hit. He is an international recording artist. He lives right here in Saginaw, and he is doing a great job. He is on his way. Might not know him, not hear about him all the time here in Saginaw, but he is a recording artist in Saginaw doing well. We want that to be locally and internationally. So look for him online, pull down his music, and tune into his music. Okay. Now, listen, I want to get back to this $52 million. I am going to have some of my senior citizens. I'm working to get some of my senior citizens to come on the air with me and talk about some of the things that they want. They have given me a lot of calls. I don't know if it's because they think I'm old or what, but they call me. And they put notes.
Age comes with wisdom, right?
Yeah, it's so, age and wisdom.
I don't worry about the age factor.
I get a lot of older people who are older than me who want to talk about this money that's coming in. How can I get, like Aunt Phyllis, I hope that you're listening. If she isn't older than me, but she has texted me and called me and said, I want to get a copy of whatever it is that you have, which was the Treasury's final rule, interim final rule. She wanted information about how we can spend that money. And so I know that they are revising and sending out another one. I'm going to make sure that everyone who asked me for that document, that they get it. But I want to I can only have, 2 people in here at a time, but I'm going to get some seniors in here and we're going to talk about what they see is needed in their communities. How we can use that 52 million to revitalize and make sure that, well, they have a seniors group. They didn't have all the information for me. They gave me the telephone number, but they didn't give me all the information. But next week, I will have all the information, the flyer about this group. They are meeting and talking about doing some things with the money, what they would like to see done with the money. So we're going to bring it to you. We're going to talk about that because we have senior citizens who are interested in civic engagement. They know what voting is about. They've been voting and trying to keep the voting rights together. They make sure that they get out. This particular group, they get out and vote, and they get with their friends, families, and neighbors and knock on doors and get them to register to vote and go and vote. So they're going to be on the show, if not next week, the week before that. But we certainly want to make sure that everyone is at the table. And on this show, everyone can come to the table and talk about what they'd like to see done with that $52 million here in Saginaw. I certainly do appreciate Councilwoman Annie Bench for her remarks in today's paper about the $52 million in federal stimulus funds that could transform this community. I'm looking forward to the strategic plan. I'm looking forward to our Honorable Mayor, Brenda Moore, to give me a call and set that date as to when Tim Morrell and Mayor Brenda Moore can sit down and talk with us, talk to the people who are listening and tell them what they plan to do and what they have planned to do, because I'm certain that they have their plans or getting their plans ready and have formulated some ideas as to how they want to spend that money. And they're going to listen to us. And I just hope that they'll take it at heart, what, the people who live in the city of Saginaw, what they really want. Streets, something for the kids, parks, recreation, quality of life, infrastructure, all of that is needed. It's needed, very much so. But for a few minutes, I want to talk with you about knowing your rights about the election. Now, I know that you are listening to the news every day, and there's always something popping up about, they have changed something with the voting rights for people who live in the South. Well, that is spreading across the country. Even here in Michigan, our elected officials, our senators, House of State Representatives, they are changing or proposing that laws be changed so that it makes it more difficult for people to vote. So this is what I want you to do. I'm looking at a little booklet that we got from the Michigan general election that we passed out. I'm sorry, that the NAACP passed out. And you will always need your identification for voting. So make sure that you have a photo ID to vote. Get that going now. Get all of your documents together where you can go and get a ID card. If you're not driving and you don't have a driver's license, get an ID card from the state of Michigan. Okay, you can do that. You will need to bring in certain documents. So if you prepare those and get those ready now, you will be ready. Let me tell you, the end of the year and 2022 will come up. Very fast. Good grief. Do you need the receipt that you received when you registered to vote? You should keep all of your documents. And when the city clerk's office sends you that card, put that card with your birth certificate. Make sure that you keep all of those documents on hand. And then learn about where you can go and vote. You know, take a drive through over there and make sure that you know where you're going to vote. It's not too early to do that, to become familiar with where you should go and vote. Or it's not too early for you to become familiar with who your county clerk is, who your city clerk is. You can ask your city council people and county commissioners everything that you want to know about voting, and they should be able to talk with you about it.
This should be familiar with the term polling place, because
polling place.
When you ask, usually elders don't know the term polling place or polling area. They just know, where can I go to vote? But if you mention polling place, or when you hear the term polling place, they're talking about where you can go vote. And that way you can take a trip over there, see where it is, so you know exactly what time the polls open. So they call that, it's normally known as a polling place or polling area, or that people go to vote in. There's a lot of information at the city clerk's office, you know, not just about voting, but you can learn about all of the programs or some of the programs that they have available for residents. There's special needs programs for housing and repairs. There's information about the water structure. Do you know that you're supposed to, if you live in the city, you should run your water for a certain length of time to make sure there's no lead in the water or a reduced amount of lead. All of that information they have out in the hallway when you go in the city hall to go in the office to pay your bill. And there's information in other hallways there at City Hall about the services that are available. So when you go in to talk with someone at your city clerk's office, whether it's about voting and making sure you have all that information together, or whether it's about getting on one of the boards and committees that they have. There's a lot of information that you can get from the county clerk's office and the city clerk's office right here in Saginaw. So I hope that you will do that. If someone calls you on the phone, or if you have a problem voting and they're trying to intimidate or harass you, what should you do about that? You should tell someone at City Hall, okay, about any of those instances where people are trying to keep you from voting, okay, whether it's something that's coming through your phone. You know, I get a lot of surveys. They're asking me for surveys. Now, they know that I vote. I don't know how you get my telephone number, but they're asking me all of these questions. Who did I vote for? Did I vote for the president, Joe Biden? Did I vote for Kamala Harris? They asked me if I was Democrat or Republican. I skipped that part of it. And then I went on and answered some of the other questions that I felt comfortable about. But, you know, why are they asking me that? They're taking a poll of what's going on, but you don't have to tell anybody who you vote for. I know that. You can just say you voted, because that's on record. But guess what? I went to the end, right? And then they were asking me for money. I said, come, that's it. I'm not giving you anything. I've paid my dues. Okay, I thought that I don't have another guest calling in, Rob, but that light the phone was ringing. If you're
Okay.
expecting a guest, I don't answer the phone.
Okay. But I hope that you will. There are 3 things I want you to do today. Okay. Make sure that you get a chance to watch the Harlem Cultural Festival and the one and only Dick Gregory. I didn't talk about it today, but I will be talking about it next week when I have hopefully one of my seniors in here, along with Thelma Ruffin, who is the chairman of the health committee with the NAACP. She's going to join me, and we're going to talk about all things health wise here on Community Connections. It's community talk for community people. We have a lot to talk about. I believe that she's bringing someone with her from the Great Lakes Bay Health Centers to talk about their services and some of the things that they can be doing to keep healthy and keep strong. I am going to particularly ask them some questions about COVID. You know, I was asked, and I haven't been able to get this question. I've asked some doctors at a hospital, at a clinic, and asked them about if you didn't get that second shot of your vaccination, if you have to start all over again. Okay. And I'm not clear with the answers that I received, because the answers were not kind of like hunching their shoulders and not giving me enough information. So I want to hear it from the horse's mouth here. That is what I want you to do for next week. And then we're going to discuss the festival and the one and only Dick Gregory. I like that even more than I did the music, the Soul Festival, the Harlem Cultural Festival. All of this is streaming on the internet and online. Okay. Also, I want to tell you about the community conversation that's going to take place on July 15th. It's going to be on Facebook. State Representative Amos O'Neill. It's a legislative update. I want you to go online and listen to what he's going to be talking about. His special guests are from the Community Economic Development Association of Michigan and the Michigan Bankers Association. They're going to be with him, and they're going to discuss all things related to financial empowerment initiatives. So please go online and watch that and listen to it, ask some questions. Again, that takes place July 15th at 6 p.m. on Facebook. If you have time, please go to the NAACP website and watch the Axel program at 6 o'clock tonight. It is the awards ceremony. And then I will talk to you next week. Well, I'll announce that next week. But I'll talk to you next week right here on Community Connections, Community Talk for Community People. Rob, I think that music you played when I was coming in, the Ohio Players, I think that healed me a little bit.
That was Trans Maximus instrumental from the Ohio Players.
I was feeling kind of bad when I came in here, but that kind of lifted my spirits.
Well,
thank you.
Glad it worked for you.
Thank you. You're listening to Community Connections, and I thank you, Al, for being on the show this afternoon. Please tune in next week at 5 o'clock for more information to share with you in the community. I'll talk to you next week.
You've been listening to Community Connections with Joyce Harvin on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions expressed on Community Connections by the host, its guests, or call-ins do not necessarily represent the opinion of this station, the staff, its owners, Alpha Media USA, or its advertisers.
This is the KISS community page brought to you by McDonald's, where we find out about everything that's going on in the Great Lakes Bay region of Saginaw, Bay City, and Midland. Great Lakes Bay Region Community Day and Talent Showcase, July 23rd and 24th from 11 to 5 at Cater to You Antiques and More at 2111 Fortney Street in Saginaw. Bring the entire family for back-to-back days of fun. This event is an opportunity for small businesses and local talent to network, market, and promote their brands. Social distancing will still be in effect. Visit the Dunk Tank for the opportunity to dunk Saginaw's Mayor Brenda Moore. Check out the early bird specials from Cater to You Antiques and More, and enjoy live sounds from Kiss 107.1's afternoon girlfriend, Yvonne Daniels. You can log on to the Kiss community page for more details. 2021 Student Health Fair, July 14th from 1 to 4 p.m. at Arthur Hill High School at 3115 Mackinac Street, and on July 21st from 1 to 4 at Saginaw High School at 3100 Weber Street. Sponsored by Great Lakes Bay Health Centers, Saginaw